The Road to Crisis. Written by Anderson Cooper, from Anderson Cooper, 360 Degrees, the Middle East. A region synonymous with turmoil and conflict, where the echoes of war reverberate through generations. Now, a critical artery in southern Lebanon has been severed, plunging an already volatile situation into further uncertainty and chaos. An Israeli airstrike, part of an ongoing campaign against Hezbollah targets, has closed a key road connecting villages to the outside world, isolating communities. This is not just about infrastructure, this is about lifelines, the very veins that sustain the heartbeat of these communities. The road, a winding ribbon through the Lebanese countryside, was a lifeline for countless civilians, a vital link to the outside world. It was their connection to essential supplies, medical care, and a semblance of normalcy in a region grappling with conflict and instability. Now, it is a testament to the devastating impact of war, a stark reminder of the human cost of geopolitical tensions and the fragility of peace. The closure of this vital route has sent shockwaves through the region, disrupting daily life and causing widespread panic. It has choked off the flow of essential goods, leaving communities stranded and desperate, struggling to survive. Food, medicine, and fuel, the necessities of life, are now in short supply, raising fears of a deepening humanitarian crisis that could have long-lasting repercussions. The targeted road served as more than just a transportation route. It was a crucial artery that sustained the lifeblood of the region. It represented a lifeline for communities in southern Lebanon, connecting them to the outside world. This road was the thread that wove together the fabric of daily life. Farmers used it to transport their produce to markets, ensuring that their hard work reached consumers and provided for their families. Families relied on it for access to healthcare and education, making it possible for children to attend school and for the sick to receive medical attention. It served as the primary evacuation route for civilians fleeing conflict zones, offering a path to safety amidst chaos. This road was particularly vital for humanitarian aid organizations working tirelessly to provide relief to those affected by the ongoing conflict. Without it, their efforts are severely hindered. It served as the conduit for delivering essential supplies like food, water, and medicine, which are critical for survival in these challenging times. Shelter materials were also transported along this route, providing a semblance of security and stability to vulnerable populations. The closure of this road has effectively cut off these communities, leaving them stranded and increasingly vulnerable. The isolation exacerbates their plight, making it harder to receive help. The impact is immediate and devastating. The emotional toll on the villagers is palpable as they face an uncertain future. The ability to transport goods, services, and people has been severely hampered, creating a logistical nightmare for those trying to provide aid and for those who rely on it for survival. The road's destruction has far-reaching consequences, affecting every aspect of life in the region. The human cost of this closure is immeasurable. It affects every aspect of daily life, from the most basic needs to the deepest emotional bonds. Families are now cut off from loved ones, unable to share moments of joy or provide comfort in times of sorrow. The separation is a wound that deepens with each passing day. The sick and injured face perilous journeys to reach medical care. Makeshift clinics struggle to provide even the most basic treatments, and ambulances navigate treacherous paths, often risking their own safety. Children are deprived of education as schools struggle to function. Damaged buildings and lack of resources force many to study in makeshift classrooms, if they can study at all. The elderly, the most vulnerable in any crisis, face mounting challenges in accessing basic necessities. Their frailty makes it even harder to cope with the harsh realities of conflict. The closure has sown fear and uncertainty among the local population. People live in constant dread, unsure of what the next day will bring. With their lifelines severed, many are left wondering how they will cope. The future seems bleak, and survival becomes a daily struggle. The psychological toll of isolation and uncertainty adds another layer of suffering to an already dire situation. Mental health support is scarce, and the emotional scars run deep. This closure is not just an inconvenience, it is a humanitarian emergency unfolding in real time. The blocked roads and restricted access exacerbate the crisis, making relief efforts even more challenging. The international community must act swiftly and decisively to address the immediate needs of the affected population, and work towards a solution that ensures the safety and well-being of civilians caught in the crossfire. Only through collective effort can we hope to alleviate the suffering and restore a sense of normalcy to these devastated lives. The closure of this vital road is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace in the region. Tensions between Israel and Hezbollah have been simmering for years, occasionally erupting into open conflict. The recent escalation in military operations has only heightened anxieties, pushing the region closer to the brink. The international community has expressed deep concern over the escalating violence and its impact on civilians. The United Nations has called for restraint from all parties, urging them to prioritize the protection of civilians and facilitate humanitarian access. The closure of this road has also raised concerns about the potential for further escalation. With supply lines cut off and movement restricted, the risk of miscalculation and unintended consequences increases. Section 5. Appeals for passage. In the wake of the airstrike, Lebanon's Minister of Transport issued an urgent appeal for the road's reopening. He emphasized the humanitarian imperative, highlighting the plight of civilians trapped by the closure. His words painted a stark picture of the unfolding crisis, urging the international community to pressure Israel to allow the safe passage of civilians and humanitarian aid. His pleas have been echoed by humanitarian organizations working on the ground. They warn of a looming catastrophe if the road remains closed. With each passing day, the situation grows more desperate, and the need for a resolution becomes ever more urgent. The international community has a moral obligation to act. The lives of countless innocent civilians hang in the balance. Section 6. The politics of aid. The delivery of humanitarian aid is often caught in the crossfire of political disputes. In this case, the closure of the road has raised concerns about the politicization of aid and the potential for it to be used as a bargaining chip in the ongoing conflict. Ensuring the impartial and neutral delivery of humanitarian aid is paramount. All parties involved must respect international humanitarian law and allow aid organizations to operate freely and safely. The international community must hold all parties accountable for their actions and ensure that humanitarian principles are upheld. The needs of the affected population must come first, regardless of political considerations. Section 7. Echoes of past conflicts. The closure of this vital road evokes painful memories of past conflicts in the region, where civilian infrastructure was targeted and access to essential services was denied. The current situation serves as a grim reminder of the cyclical nature of violence and the devastating impact it has on innocent lives. It underscores the urgent need for a just and lasting peace that addresses the root causes of the conflict. The international community must learn from past mistakes and work towards a future where such scenes of destruction and suffering are not repeated. Section 8. International response muted. While the international community has expressed concern over the situation, concrete action has been slow to materialize. The lack of a unified response and the absence of a clear strategy to address the crisis have left many feeling frustrated and disillusioned. Some critics argue that the international community has become desensitized to the suffering in the region, allowing geopolitical considerations to overshadow the humanitarian imperative. The time for empty rhetoric is over. The international community must move beyond expressions of concern and take concrete steps to alleviate the suffering of those affected by the closure of this vital road. Section 9. The uncertain road ahead. As the road remains closed, the future hangs precariously for the people of southern Lebanon. Their fate lies in the balance, held hostage to the whims of warring factions and the inaction of the international community. The closure of this road is a microcosm of the larger crisis gripping the region. It is a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict and the urgent need for a peaceful resolution. The international community must recognize the severity of the situation and act decisively to prevent a humanitarian catastrophe. Section 10. A call for peace. Amidst the despair, a glimmer of hope persists. Local and international organizations are working tirelessly to provide relief and support to those in need. Their efforts, though hampered by the challenging circumstances, offer a beacon of light in the darkness. Their commitment to alleviating suffering serves as a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the importance of compassion in times of crisis. Section 11. Hope amidst the rubble. The closure of this vital road in southern Lebanon is a tragedy on many levels. It is a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict, the fragility of peace, and the urgent need for a just and lasting solution. As the sun rises each day over the rubble of shattered lives, it brings with it a renewed hope for a brighter future. A future where roads lead to peace, not destruction. A future where children can grow up free from fear. A future where humanity prevails.